Hello everyone, I'm Vlad from Level Up Gaming and Tech, and welcome to the Windows 10 optimization tutorial, the final part of our Windows 10 installation and setup series. In this tutorial, we'll be covering what you can enable and disable in Windows to make it perform better while gaming, browsing or working on your computer. For this tutorial we won't install any additional apps, we'll just be using what's already in your Windows installation. So let's get started. First, let's start with tidying up the Windows taskbar by removing icons we won't be using. Right-click on the empty space in the taskbar, uncheck Show Task View button and show people on the taskbar. However, if these are something you use, leave them checked. Second, we'll be going over what to enable and disable in the Windows control panel. Click on Search or press the Windows key +S on your keyboard. Type Control Panel and click it. When it opens, click on Category next to View By in the upper right corner of Control Panel, and change it to either small or large icons for better navigation. Okay, the first thing to do in Control Panel is to disable all the extra Windows animations. This is something that comes in handy if you need your laptop battery to last longer or make the UI perform better on a weak graphics card. Click on System, then Advanced System Settings in the new Windows sidebar. Find the Performance option and click Settings. Here, in the first tab, either select Adjust for best performance or manually uncheck most of the things, like we're doing. Next, under Startup and Recovery click Settings. Uncheck Time to display list of operating systems and click OK. After that, click on the System Protection tab, select your drive, click Configure and click Delete to delete all system restore points. Note that it's only safe to do this if your system is stable. If it's not, or you're planning to install something that might cause it to not work properly, then it's not recommended to delete restore points. In the Remote tab, click Advanced under Remote Assistance and uncheck Allow this computer to be controlled remotely. Close Control Panel and search for Services and click it. Services is a long list of background services that run on your PC, most of which make sure your gaming and work is smooth and without trouble. There are a couple of them that either don't help or are just useless. First service to check is Connected User Experiences and Telemetry. It should say it's disabled, since we disabled it in part 2 of our tutorial. Make sure to check it if you haven't, as it has useful tips and tricks for helping PCs run a bit faster and lighter. To disable a service, click on it, select Disabled from the combo box next to Startup type and click on Stop if it's running. Click OK to close the window. The first one we've disabled is Delivery Optimization. Services that we'll disable here are Delivery Optimization, Distributed Link Tracking Client and Update Orchestrator Service. There are a couple of additional services which you can disable, if you know what you're doing. These include Security Center, Windows Firewall, Windows Defender and Windows Updates. But this is only if you know what you're doing. If you're new to this or just want to work and play without a lot of headaches, leave them on. Finally, open Windows Explorer, click View, then Options, go in the View tab, scroll down and uncheck Show Sync Provider Notifications. Next up, we'll customize some Windows settings. Open the Start menu and click on the cogwheel just above the Shutdown button. First, click on System. Under Display, enable the night light, and change its settings to how you prefer. You can even schedule it to turn on and off automatically. It helps your eyes a lot with late-night gaming sessions. Next, in Notifications and Actions, turn off notifications on the lock screen and any additional notifications you don't need. For power and sleep settings, choose what works best for you. For us, turning of the monitor for 30 minutes is ideal, but we prefer to leave our computer on all the time instead of going to sleep at all. Unless you're using a tablet or laptop with touchscreen support, we recommend turning off touchscreen mode and leaving it on desktop mode always. In multitasking, under Devices, turn off Timeline Suggestions. For shared experiences, turn off Share across devices. Go back to the Settings menu and enter Home. In Pen and Windows Ink, uncheck Show Recommended App Suggestions and write in the handwriting. Next up, open Network and Internet Settings and uncheck both VPN options. In Personalization, under Taskbar, customize the look of your taskbar. We prefer small icons, so they take up less space. Here's the important part. Go back to Settings and enter Apps. Find anything that you will not use and delete it. For us, this includes games that came with Windows and some Microsoft apps. Again, no perfect recipe here, just user preference. Uninstall anything you don't need or do just as we did here. These are the most unused apps, so we are removing all of them to free up space. Next, click on Offline Maps in the sidebar and delete all maps if you're not using them. Deassociate apps for websites. For startup, turn off all apps that either are unused or have a high impact on your computer, or apps that are not used often. Go back to Settings and open Accounts. Under Sign In options, turn off Use My Sign In info to automatically. Back to Settings again. In Time and Language, uncheck Set Time Automatically. Once more back to Settings. Under Game Bar, turn off Game Bar. If you like to record gameplay, we recommend using either NVIDIA Shadowplay or AMD's DVR. If you're having low performance due to low graphics, go into Ease of Access and turn off Transparency in Windows. In Privacy, delete diagnostic data if you haven't, clear activity history and choose which apps, if any, have access to your camera and microphone. As with other things, turn permissions on and off, depending on what you use. Now, let's optimize Windows Defender. Navigate to Windows Defender, then Settings, Update and Security, Windows Security, click on Windows Defender. Click Virus and Threat Protection Settings and disable Cloud-Based Protection, as well as Automatic Sample Submission. Make sure the rest of Windows Defender is up and running, and that's it. If you're comfortable using Windows, you can check and uncheck some settings under the options which says for developers to give yourself more freedom. The last thing is search. Under Permissions and History, turn off Safe Search, and make sure Cloud Search and History is turned off. That's it. If you made it this far, it means you now have a slightly faster and a bit more stable Windows PC, that will with some proper care, last you longer and perform better than an average installation. One last thing, open Start and type cmd, right-click on Command Prompt and click Run as Administrator. Then type this command, power cfg-h off, and press Enter. This is to make sure hibernation is off. If you've followed our guide from Part 1, now you've learned everything that's involved with installing and setting up Windows 10 from the very beginning. Hopefully, we've made it less scary than it seems. Stay tuned for more awesome tutorials. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram too. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. See you in the next one.